Colleagues, can I have your attention, please? First of all, thank you everybody for coming today. Could I just ask you to be mindful of the respect and dignity policies that we should observe today? We've got lots of different political persuasions here, different people from different backgrounds. Can we just all be nice to each other? We're here for one reason, and that's to save the shipyard, okay?
Here, here.
Right. Colleagues, we're going to start the march at 11 o'clock. We've got stewards, so we should be fairly well organised. We intend to cross at the zebra crossing and head down towards Victoria Park on the quayside into Victoria Park, and we'll be doing some speeches at the fort. The procession will start with the Appledore Shipbuilders banner that's going to be held by the Appledore Shipbuilders apprentices. So well done to the apprentices, thank you for that.
Hey!
We'll follow up with the GMB and Unite the Union signs. Then if we can form an orderly line after that, and we proceed safely down to the park, and then Matt will organise you for speeches at the fort area of Victoria Park. Colleagues, thank you once again for coming, and thank you most sincerely to the representatives at Appledore Shipyard, the trade union representatives that have done a huge amount of work to organise this today. Thanks, guys.
Well done, well done. Well said.
Me and Lee said we could carry that one, and we went to wait for that.
No, not off the top of my head.
When we get to the position, if we stop for a minute and get people lined up. Everyone please join in and come into the line behind the banners. Please join in and find a space between the banners.
What date in December are they going to Christmas shopping?
I don't know.
It's a nice do lots out of that. Do lots out of that.
Just got stopped by these people. Asked why he's here today.
Oh, all right. Can you read the paper?
Yeah, we're causing anarchy.
One of these is there is one central.
My wife just said to me, all I can hear is your loud voice on Gazette Live.
Should be on Tucker Times Live.
GMB and Unite reps and speakers up on the floor, please. Can we have all GMB and Unite reps and speakers on the floor, please? Can we have all GMB, Unite reps and speakers on the floor, please? Can we have all GMB and Unite reps and all speakers on the floor, please? We're going to start the speeches shortly, so please gather round.
Yes, to let you know where she's been. I'm very pleased you've relayed that message over. Thank you very much, Mr. Jackson. That's very kind of you. I'm
today is obvious, but it's been a good job for
Because the shipyard in Appledore and for the local economy is really important. It's not just the 200 jobs directly supported in the yard, it's a huge amount of supply chains. And the local economy gets from the fish and chip shop, to the paper shop, to the pub, to the hairdressers. They all rely on, and we've done some work from the night union in terms of multiple hire effects. And we've worked out that a pound earned in the shipyard is worth £3 in the economy.
Tell us about Tuesday. You said you've got a very important next stage meeting. Tell us about that.
On Tuesday we've got fantastic support from the community as well, and the UK in total in terms of our petition. We did last count have over 7,000 names, and I'm sure we'll get close to 9,000. We're taking petitions to Jeffrey Cox today. He's invited today at Parliament. We're meeting at Westminster. I've arranged for that on Tuesday, and then we intend to take copies of petitions to other ministers and to Babcock. We really need to emphasise the importance of keeping working.
And we've shown that shipyards don't really belong to the landlord or the government or the company, but they belong to the community. On Tuesday we'll be taking our petition to the Houses of Parliament. If anyone has not already signed the petition and you haven't got all your family and friends to do so, please go on to change.org, type in Appledore, and please sign our petition. Your support so far has been incredible, and we are currently on about 8,500 signatures, but we're trying to push it one more time before Tuesday, so please, if you haven't signed the petition, please do so. People in this community have worked at Appledore for generations, and we do not want this to end. Today we reject the removal of skilled jobs and deindustrialisation from our community. Please email your MPs, email the company, and tell everybody what Appledore means to us. Appledore is a place that's built ships cheaper than many competitors and turned a profit year in, year out. You can't tell me that this shipyard cannot be viable. So today, North Devon sends a message that we will not accept the closure of this shipyard. I would like to thank all of the community and the workforce and their families, and particularly I'd like to thank the GMB reps Paul, Lee, Chris and Jake, and the Unite reps Ricky and Barry. You have done us proud in leading this campaign. So I think a few people have been surprised by how big this campaign has been and the amount of support we have had. But we say to anyone watching this rally who has any decision-making power over the future of Appledore whatsoever, if you think this campaign has surprised you, if you thought the workforce and North Devon wouldn't do much about this, if that's what you thought, well, you ain't seen nothing yet. I'm now going to pass on to the Mayor of Bideford, Dougie Bushby, to say a few words.
Well, can I say to start, what a fantastic show of strength from the people of Bideford and Appledore and all of them in support of the shipyard. Thank you and well done to everyone for attending. I think it's absolutely essential that this shipyard stays open. With a great history of shipbuilding on the Torridge, it would be a wicked shame to lose this, the shipbuilding with generations of skilled workers that clearly would lose their jobs, and all due to badly planned order book by the government. Appledore shipyard has a fantastic technical ability which has shown itself in recent years with the aircraft carrier assemblies recently sent out from the yard, and they have proved that they can produce this work on time and under budget. So we're not talking about costs here, just bad government planning. The last time Appledore shipyard closed its doors, it caused devastation for families and the local economy. This area is economically registered as deprived. By closing the shipyard, this will ruin so many workers' lives, and the knock-on effect to local businesses will be appalling. I strongly urge the powers that be to review any plans to close the shipyard. And can I just finish by saying that, you know, as the town mayor, myself and my fellow councillors, we give 100% support to the shipyard, and we will be writing to the powers that be on behalf of the shipyard to try and hopefully make them see sense. Thank you very much.
So during this campaign, all of the community and the workforce, GMB and Unite, have worked together, and we've now got my friend and colleague Heathcliff Pettifer from Unite will now say a few words.
Thank you. Firstly, colleagues, I'd like to thank the local Appledore reps. I'd like to thank their families. They've put in a huge effort to make this event successful. And I also bring with me fraternal greetings from Unite the Union, Tony Burke, Ian Waddle, Steve Turner and Len McCluskey, the General Secretary. Unfortunately couldn't be here today, but send their best wishes and support. In a telephone conversation this week with senior Babcock directors, the news is there is no news. This isn't meant to be ironic. I think what the employer means by this is that the yard isn't closed, but there's no work in the yard. My concern is that these meaningless statements from Babcock just serve to condition the workers to expect the inevitable. It's no better than death by 1,000 cuts, and this is being played out in public through the press. For over a year now I've been calling on Babcock and the government to have a grown-up conversation about the future of Appledore Shipyard. On May Day this year I spoke at the Barnstable Trade Council, an international workers event, and in that speech I set out a case for Appledore Shipyard and the challenges it faces. I spoke about the government, who seem obsessed in driving costs down, an employer that seems willing to exploit the most flexible and committed shipbuilding workforce in the UK, full stop. Colleagues, this is a race to the bottom and it's just not acceptable. In the last few weeks we've read, on one hand, a senior executive from Babcock has been kicked out of Westminster meetings with the MOD because of his arrogance and attitude, and on the other hand we learn that there are contracts that the government, in the name of fair trade, could have placed at Appledore Shipyard, and instead the work's been opened up to worldwide competition. This is just not acceptable. Colleagues, the real irony is that whilst Babcock and the government are squabbling, investors are playing the stock market and short selling Babcock shares to make a quick profit. And it's these kinds of actions by remote, faceless, unknown traders in suits that are actually influencing a possible yard closure, and that too is just not acceptable. This, colleagues, this whole mess amounts to the biggest betrayal in the shipyard's 160-year history. Some of us will remember having been in this situation before. A great man once said, Tony Benn once said, every generation fights the same battles again and again. There is no final victory, there is no final defeat. Colleagues, we've dealt with these kinds of issues before, and we're still here to talk about it, and we must continue to fight. When I think about previous owners of the shipyard, some of those owners have handed things over in a better condition, and some of them haven't. But in actual fact, they never really owned the shipyard. The shipyard was owned by the people that worked in it. They were the people that really owned the shipyard. The people that worked there, the generations of skills, the traditions, the histories, and the community that's built up around the yard. That is what owns the shipyard. These are the people, and you are the people, that will fight to save Appledore Shipyard. Colleagues, thank you for attending today.
Can we ask if any other speakers have not made their way up to the fort? Can you please make your way up? And I'm now really pleased to be able to introduce our next speaker, Councillor Jane Whittaker, the leader of Torridge District Council.
Good morning, everybody. I hope I've got the button pressed in hard enough. I probably haven't. Okay, can you hear me now? That's grand. Thank you very much. Well, thank you very much for coming this morning. It's one of the most important things you'll be doing for quite some time, and it's a really powerful, absolutely right. And it's a bit there. Right, I'll start again. Thank you very much for coming this morning. This is probably one of the most important things you'll be doing for quite some time. We have to save Appledore Shipyard, and I am here to represent all the district councillors because I know I speak for them all. I have been working alongside Heath and some of the union reps for some time now, and of course have been working alongside our MP. Now I know you're disappointed because Jeffrey can't be here today. And I know you are, and I know, honestly, that he is disappointed as well. Jeffrey is doing something today that has been in his diary, associated with him being the Attorney General, that he could not escape from. But he has done an enormous amount of work behind the scenes recently and has been in correspondence with me, I promise you, all the time. He would be so upset that he can't be here, and I know that to be true. He actually met with Peter Heaton-Jones last week, with Archie Bethel, who is the CEO of Babcock's, and had a very long conversation with him. And not only has Jeffrey told me that, but Peter Heaton-Jones, who I bumped into on Sunday, told me exactly the same thing. I've written to everybody I can think of. I wrote to the Minister of Defence this last week. I haven't had a response yet, but I'm sure I will. And I pointed out some of the things that will happen to this district if we lose the shipyard. I've been associated, very luckily, I think, with the shipyard for all the time that I've been a councillor. And I value it, and I know my colleagues do, enormously. It's an integral part of how this whole district works. And all of your jobs are very precious to all of us, I promise you. So we will do everything, and Heathcliff and everybody else knows that I will do anything I can to help you save the shipyard. Thank you.
Okay, we now have Paul Fryer from the local TUC will say a few words.
Can you hear me all right?
Yeah!
Good. It's a pleasure to be here, seeing so many people getting off their knees and starting to fight. We will not be dictated to by boardrooms, shareholders, and what have you. And there are 4 Royal Fleet auxiliary ships to be built. Under the EU rules, as they're not warships, they must be set out to open tender. We demand that these ships are built in, if they're too big bits to be built in Appledore, the loss of this yard, if it happens, is not a local disaster, it is a national disaster. We must look at ways and means of diversifying what is built in the yard, as well as ships. And thank you for your forbearance of me.
Good morning, I'm David Chalmers and I'm speaking to you today on behalf of the Liberal Democrats. Appledore Shipyard is vital to the future prosperity of our region, spanning North Devon to North Cornwall and no more so than here in Torridge. Shipbuilding is part of our local heritage. We have been building ships here on the Torridge for hundreds of years. Ships that sailed against the Armada were built here. I live in Appledore and I know how important the shipyard is to our local community. Each morning as I walk my dog along the quay, I could see the Irish Navy vessel moored upstream. And like many people, I am sure I felt proud to witness what the skills of the men and women living in our town and villages had achieved. Appledore Shipyard stands out as a bright light in a region that is too dependent on low-paid, low-skilled jobs. We must demand more better paid, higher skilled employment of the sort offered at the shipyard. And it's not just the 200 workers directly employed at the shipyard who will be affected by its closure, although saving their jobs is paramount. And that's why we are here today supporting the campaign led by the GMB and Unite unions. Closure will be a blight on our whole community. Conservative estimates reckon a loss of at least $1 million to our local economy, greater even than the loss of Chibana. Appledore is a symbol of how good we can be. I am pleased today that local representatives from all the major political parties have come together in solidarity to express our support for the workers at Appledore Shipyard. But where are our local MPs? Ian Jones did ask a question in Parliament this week, but he was just fobbed off by the Defence Minister with some statement along the lines that all British shipyards should be internationally competitive. I am not going to dwell on how we got to where we are. We thought we're facing one of the most critical moments in our country's history, but Appledore Shipyard has faced financial difficulties many times in the past under successive governments, and it is testament to the skills of the workforce that solutions have always been found. But right now, the only way of preventing these hard-working men and women from being handed their P45s just before Christmas is for the Tory government to step in and take the strategic decision to keep this shipyard open. And as luck would have it, we have as our local MP the Attorney General, sitting at the same cabinet table as those ministers who will take the decisions. So we need Geoffrey Cox for once to stand up for our community and make the people living and working here his top priority. Save Appledore Shipyard. If the Lib Dems are in charge, we will work positively with unions and shipyard owners to find a solution to ensure its continued operation. We value sustainable communities with better paid, higher skilled jobs that support families and the wider community and offer better opportunities for our young people. We demand better. We demand that Appledore Shipyard stays open.
And now representing Devon County Council, we have Councillor Andrew Eastman will now say a few words.
Can everybody hear me?
Yes,
How delighted I am to see so many past shipyard workers here today. It's a joy to see all the boys and ladies who are gathered here this morning to represent and to take this challenge forward for and upon behalf of the shipyard. Yes, Babcocks need to wake up. They need to really take the bull by the horns and set about getting the orders that we desperately need. Now, I'm proud, very proud, to be waving this banner, Save Our Shipyard for our community. We have heard the Turridge District Council leader, Councillor Jane Whittaker, talking about lobbying the MP and Peter Heaton-Jones. Well, believe you me, ladies and gentlemen, we will be doing a lot more than that, because in the gathering today I've noticed several Devon County Councillors with me who will be taking this to a lot higher level. We've got to lobby this all the way. I'm really proud and privileged to hear that this petition will be presented to the House of Commons next week. Please remember, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have not signed, and it's a pity that we haven't got manual signatures to sign now today, because a lot of people have not signed online yet. It needs to be lobbied and pushed forward, and I'm delighted once again, and thank you very, very much indeed, ladies and gentlemen, as I peer over this banner, for turning out today and supporting this worthy rally. Thank you very much.
Andrew, thank you very much. And also, just to let people know, we do have some paper copies of the petition as well, so you can sign it online at change.org and type in Appledore, or if you want to sign a paper copy, if you see one of the GMB or Unite Union reps from Appledore, you'll be able to sign a paper copy of the petition. So I'd now like to introduce Jasmine Davis, the wife of Kenny Davis, the Mayor of Northam.
Hello, I'm Jasmine Davis and I'm Mayoress of Appledore and District. My husband worked at the shipyard for many years and did his training there in the 1960s. There are many ships being built in Appledore. They were good enough to do the bow section of the latest carriers. They've done about 6 ships for the Irish Navy. They built the Ceylonian, they built the Illustrious. So why can't the government get their act together and get some work for Appledore? There are warships that need building, so why can't they put parts of them Appledore way so they can float them out and join them elsewhere? Each area needs work, it's very short of work, and the closure of the yard, we've had it before when we all stood outside and kept the yard open, stopped the receivers coming in. And we need work in this area. Appledore is the biggest employer, so the government has to help. Ken is a UKIP mayor, and we'd like to keep work in this country, not send it all abroad. We need skills in this country, and Appledore needs it as well. We need to help people, help families. There are families that will lose their homes and everything if they don't get work from the shipyard. Thank you. Goodbye.
So ladies and gentlemen, a few weeks before this campaign started, we had an election at Appledore for a re-election of our GMB union reps, and someone called Jake McLean got elected as a new GMB rep. Never heard of the guy before, but I think I've certainly heard of him now. I think he's been on BBC One, ITV, and he's been absolutely phenomenal what he's done in this campaign. So I'm now going to pass the microphone to Jake, so Jake can say a few words.
I'll keep this short and sweet. On behalf of the workers at Appledore, I'd like to thank the whole community for rallying around and supporting us. It really means a lot. I never expected this turnout petition and the rally, and it's just completely overwhelmed for it. And we will keep this fight going for as long as it takes, and those doors stay open. 197 and not out!
So we've heard from the Lib Dems, we've heard from Conservatives, and now we have a representative from Labour, which is Councillor David Brenton.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I was told to keep it short. I worked with the principle that nobody remembers what you said, but they do remember how long you took to say it. And also, not to be political. Sorry, But it is political. It was welcome, the politics were welcomed when Tony Benn and the Labour government saved Appledore shipyard many years ago. Where there's a political way, there's a political way. And I do believe that the government have got a key role in saving the shipyard. It is madness that a maritime nation like Britain allows its skilled workforce to dissipate or not be trained or disappear in other parts of, end up cleaning windows or something. Or even worse, look forward to going on to universal credit. That is not just. It's brilliant to see so many people here today. Usually we've had to go up to London in coachloads to lobby MPs up there. But at least it's on home territory today, and you've done a great job. It's time us Devonians stop pulling our forelock and get up on our knees and fight for what we justly deserve. Thank you very much.
Okay, we've only got a few more speakers now. I'm going to go next to Dave Chapman.